want you to start the show. I always start the show. Just start the damn show.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Welcome to the Movie Men podcast. I'm Peter.
Did you write
Peter.
that?
I'm gonna start soft
Parker?
and then I'm gonna escalate.
When you say Peter, the next thing that I hear is Parker. There's no.
But why would you be thinking about that?
Because holy shit. or alternatively, you say Peter, I say Venkman. And an even
what?
sooner impending, it's Bill Murray's character
yeah.
from Ghostbusters. And an even more impending, holy shit. Oh my God, man. Christmas is Monday. Because that's when the movie comes out tomorrow by when we're recording. Mm-hmm. But it'll be Monday likely before I go see it.
Sure.
But holy crap, man.
Mm-hmm.
So excited.
Man.
So freaking excited.
A lot of new films coming out, a lot of content, a lot of exciting content, not just your filler films, but franchise films, both old and new, with Ghostbusters and Spider-Man and
Matrix
and Kingsman and
Morbius.
Yeah, it's a
and
fun
then all the
time.
stuff like next year's MCU slate is ridiculous. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. I'm not as big of a MCU fan as I'm into MCU. I'm not a Dis fan or I'm not. It's not that I'm not into it. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to set the ground and show that I'm not biased.
You're not.
But the
stupid.
next few,
You're just
the next few
not as into
MCU
it.
films, I am jazzed for.
right.
Yeah, Thor,
Right.
Spider-Man, even just to the casual fan.
And it's Hawkeye time too. Like Hawkeye on Disney Plus is like
Right.
any day now, and it's like I don't know if you've watched the trailer for it, but it's like Christmas, so it's like Hawkeye meets Home Alone almost is the feel. Oh my
Which,
God!
I mean, actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, it's same thing, same difference. Hello and welcome
Yes. Welcome.
to the Movie Men podcast. A podcast where men sit around and talk about movies, except for when we have women on, in which case it's still the Movie Men podcast, but
Yeah.
then men and women sit around and talk about movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, this morning, whenever you're listening, we're going to talk about a movie called Patch Adams. We're going to talk about that, even though this movie came out over 20 years ago. Like 25 years ago, almost. 24 years ago.
It's alarming because when I watched this film this time, I've seen it closer to its release and I've seen it now. And it's just alarming to think that almost as much time, if not more, it's close enough just for the conversation, has passed between now and when this film came out and this film coming out and when it was set in the 70s. And that to me is just bonkers.
Right? But what's funny about this movie is because you don't often see cars and and computers and technology aren't really a big part of it. Do you ever and I guess, it's evident in the clothing a little bit, but I don't know. If I put this movie down in front of you and I said, hey, this movie's set in the 90s, you might not pay close enough attention to it to realize that that's not true.
I'd agree. Yeah, for sure.
Right. It's just, it's kind of got an evergreen feel to it. Even now you're like, yeah, you know what? Could be a 2021 thing. You don't, because the technology and the available medicine and stuff like that is not forefront.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Anyways, listen, we're going to, even though it came out 22, 3, 4 years ago, we're going to talk about this film as though you've seen it. So if you haven't seen it, this is your spoiler alert. Your obligatory spoiler alert. And with that said, do you have trivia for me, sir?
Well, let me just take a look.
Ow!
I do have some trivia for you. So it's one question, but it's related to the year in which this came out. So it's not a Patch Adams specific question. It's a 1998 film question.
Okay.
Okay. Multiple choice. So you've got a good chance. You got a 1 in 4 chance here.
That bodes well.
My question for you and the listener. In 1998, what was the top Oscar nominated and awarded film in 1998? So it got the most nominations and the most actual trophies at the Oscars in it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, it was the year in 1998, so it technically would have been in 99, but of all the films in 98. And I'll give you some choices. Choice number 1, Saving Private Ryan. Choice number 2, The Prince of Egypt. Choice number 3, Shakespeare in Love. And choice number 4, Life is Beautiful.
I love how you didn't even make Patch Adams an option. Okay.
I mean, no offense to Patch Adams, but like...
So the only one of these films... Okay. So the only one of these films I've seen is Saving Private Ryan.
Sure.
I can't imagine that it's Prince of Egypt. Like that's the animated one, right? It's an animated film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got that can't be it. Shakespeare in Love I've heard of, but I have not seen.
Sure.
Although I know it's held with high esteem.
Sure.
And The Good Life, is that what you said the other one was?
Life is Beautiful.
Life is Beautiful. That one I don't think I've ever even heard of.
I think it's an Italian film. It's for sure a foreign film. It's known for Roberto Benigni, who was mentioned in our top actors episode with Marshall. So it's a very fringe, like it's off the beaten path as far as the film title and the main actor who was involved with it. But
okay, which leads me to think that it's also not the correct answer. My instinct is to go with Saving Private Ryan. Just because I know the film and I know who's in it and I know that it's,
Sure.
it's freaking Saving freaking Private freaking Ryan, right? It's like it's a big deal. But Shakespeare in Love could be sort of like a sleeper film here in this category. I'm going to go with Saving Private Ryan just because, although I have a little bit of fear that I might be wrong, you can't let fear do that to you, man. So Saving Private Ryan is what I'm going with.
I like your fear suggestion or your fear.
Yeah, you just gotta,
Yeah. All right. Well, this is there's a trademark impingement here, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to keep this sound effect on the show, but that's the only thing I can do for an incorrect answer.
Wow, 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 wow.
So it was Shakespeare in Love, and this blew my mind. So I've seen it, and it has some notable faces, like Gwyneth Paltrow.
The movie blew your mind, or this factoid blew your mind?
Factoid blew my mind.
Okay.
Factoid.
Right.
It has Judi Dench, Gwyneth Paltrow, Tom Wilkinson, Ben Affleck, who I don't even remember in it, Colin Firth. So it's an interesting.
Stacked.
Yeah, it's an interesting film, and I've seen it. It had 13 nominations and 7 wins.
Holy shit! Which explains why Patch Adams suffered at the Oscars.
Like, for context, I remember actually, I wasn't watching TV that much. Like, I wasn't watching the Oscars when I was this, age. But I do know that Saving Private Ryan cleaned up, and it's got a lot of credit. So when I was scrolling through this, I just kind of assumed it would have been Saving Private Ryan. And for context, it had 2 less of each. It had 11 and 5. So still cleaned up. But Shakespeare in Love, just in my mind, out of nowhere, was just like boom, like not quite as good, but Titanic levels, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King levels of like just attention.
Right.
Yeah. But
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, for context, Prince of Egypt actually had 2 noms, no wins, so that's still respectable. And Life is Beautiful had 7 noms and 3 wins. And I specifically remember, I think it might have been for Best Actor. Life is Beautiful actually beat out Saving Private Ryan, and that's kind of what drew my attention to this. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Patch
That is
Adams got a nomination for Best Music.
yes, I did see that.
Yeah. And that's the only nomination.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, so let's talk. I want to, with your permission, I would like to tackle this on a slightly different arrangement that we normally do.
Sure.
Yes or no? True or false? Just right off the bat. Normally we don't disclose this out of the gate, but yes or no?
Okay.
Because what I have to say following this, the impact of it is predicated on your answer here.
Oh,
Yes
Okay.
or no?
sure.
Is this an amazing movie? A tear-jerking, make you laugh, warm your heart, make you think movie.
That is a loaded question, dude.
Okay, well, but like,
Okay.
is it a maybe not amazing? Is it a great movie?
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
No. Yeah. No, totally. I totally
Okay.
get what you're saying. I'm going to say before a couple days ago, when I hadn't seen it in about 10 or 15 years, I would have said yes, absolutely 100%. When I rewatched it a couple days ago, I think my answer has changed to no.
Wow. Okay. So okay. So we're still going to proceed here, obviously. No, podcast
Sure.
over. But
Yeah.
okay. So, but that's a wrench in the gears here. Okay. So listen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the Rotten Tomato scores for this film?
Actually, I don't. I do not.
Okay. What is your guess for audience score?
I'm bad at these. I think it's going to be okay. Like, it's Robin Williams. It's a pop culture film. Like
Robin
I don't know,
Williams, the Seymour Hoffman.
Yep. I'll go like 75%.
It's 74. You're selling yourself short. You're good at this. That's a
I'm
pretty
not.
good number.
I swear. Like, it's kind of like a blind squirrel is right twice a day, or a broken clock is right twice a day. I swear I'd kind of just stumble on these.
Right, no worries. Now, the critic score. What is your guess for the critic score for this movie?
I would say I'm going to go similar, like maybe like 70%, like a little bit worse, but like respectable.
This film, and this blew my mind, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. And now I'm intrigued, and I'm intrigued in all kinds of different ways because you didn't give me the answer to my question that I was expecting you would.
Oh, okay.
This film has a 22% on Rotten
22?
Tomatoes.
22?
And when I saw that, I was like, what? I can't. And this is I don't mean this in a ridiculous or dramatic way or whatever. I can understand a Rotten Tomatoes score of 75 or 80 for Lost in Translation before I can wrap my head around a 22% score for Patch Adams.
I don't know if that was a compliment or not, but
It was.
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't think it was a compliment.
okay.
You know,
Yeah.
it was just. That's
Shock
how
value,
crazy.
yeah.
I'm willing to concede that. I'm willing to concede the fact that Lost in Translation is a better film than I think it is. Before I'm willing to concede that Patch Adams is that much worse a film
Right.
than I believe it is.
That okay. Yeah.
So, I don't know. And this number has me like, there was, and I think I've moved away from this, but you know what? There is a part of me that for like 2 days, I was genuinely seriously considering like maybe this is a direction to take maybe this is a gimmick or it's a direction to go with the podcast. But I was like, okay, well, originally I was going to tell you that and use it as my reason for explaining why I refused to discuss Rotten Tomato scores ever on the show moving forward.
Jeez.
Because I believed that, and do believe, that it so hurts the validity of any numbers found on that website. 74 seemed a little low to me, but I was like, okay, you know what? Yeah, whatever, teach their own. But 22...
That's pretty low.
That's earth-shatteringly low.
So you said how I felt and I said no. I think if you had said something in like the 40, say if you said 44 even, I would have been like, yeah, you know what? For me personally, that's not surprising. But even 22, that is just like, that's low.
Can I put this into perspective?
Sure.
Cats has a 20.
Oh, come on. Okay, there is.
So this is 2% better than Cats?
No.
What the actual hell?
No. And so maybe there's still a point to be made about the just inaccuracy of this. Just yeah, that's
So I don't know. Do we start by me telling you why this film works for me, or do we start by you telling me why it doesn't work for you?
Either's fine.
Okay. I'm going to go first. And the reason why I want to go first is because if you go first, I'm going to feel like my review is me defending the film.
Right. Yes.
And often when you don't like a movie and I do like it and I go first, your review is filled with a bunch of, and then you put it this way. And I think I can kind of see,
right.
I have a tendency of like pulling you over to the dark side.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so it's a Robin Williams film. So his performance is great.
Yep.
I can't think of and I'm sure there is, but even the horrible Robin Williams films like Toys or Popeye, those films aren't bad films because of a bad Robin Williams performance. I don't know that such a thing truly exists. There's a lot of fun foreshadowing in this film. In that everything right, and I was like, and it's foreshadowing that I hadn't picked up on the first several times. I've seen this movie multiple times. But I hadn't picked up on really until this viewing. But at the beginning, when he's at the mental hospital and there's all this stuff happening, and there's all this messaging, that's verbal imagery. There's all this like storytelling or emphasis put on see what other people can't. Look past the problem. And that's so cool because that's exactly what this whole film hinges on, right? The old guy, I can't think of his name now, but the guy who gives him the name Patch, right? When you don't look at it through the correct lens, the whole how many fingers do you see thing just seems like awkward, out of place filler. But it's, no, everyone's too busy focusing on the problem instead of looking past the problem and seeing the person. Don't look at the fingers.
Yep.
Look at me. And that was so cool. And then just how polar opposite to what he wants the care that he's getting is. When he's sitting there in that therapy session and all of a sudden he clues into the fact that he's not listening, he's not being listened to. And that he can talk about using his genitals for a pogo stick and and his doctor's not going to bat an eye because he's not listening, like, at all. And so all that's great. The humor, I'm the whole trench warfare bazooka with the squirrels thing, that makes me laugh. It's so funny and it's so well done. Simple lines like when he says, I want to help people, and I want to care for people, I want to help people, and his doctor says, well, that's what I do. And Robin Williams goes, yes, but you suck at it. Just the delivery of all of his lines are fantastic. And then, so if I go down the boxes, this film makes me laugh. Absolutely makes me laugh. There's multiple moments where this film makes me laugh. Does it make me think? Yeah, absolutely. It makes me think about, I feel like you can take the story of Patch Adams and you can apply it to whatever field you work in or whatever hobbies you have or whatever's going on in your life or your friends, your family. And there's something to be gleaned from it.
No, that's true.
Does it make me cry? Yes. Does it make me cry happy tears? Absolutely. I cried happy tears when I can think of 2 times when I cry happy tears during this, like literally like wet eyes, red wet eye tear moments.
Wow.
The first being in no particular order, because this is actually the second. When the pool of noodles.
Oh, yeah.
The pool of noodle scene and just the joy and the magic and the connection and just what an amazing thing they've done in that moment. Makes me cry happy tears. The other moment that makes me like sob happy tears is when he's in court and he turns around and they're all there and they all put the red noses on. Oh my God. Like I lose it there. Does this movie make me cry sad tears? Yes. When Kareen dies, absolutely.
Yeah.
And interesting, I got in a play once, like a play that I had to audition for, and I had to prepare a monologue and show up and deliver my monologue as part of my audition. And the monologue I did is the one that he's doing when he's on the cliff and he's contemplating killing himself, and he's talking to God, and he's like, yeah, I could do it.
Wow.
And he's talking about like, you rested on the 7th day. Maybe you should have spent that day on compassion. And like, and just all this, and, and I got the part. So I was, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe that makes me a little biased, but it makes me cry sad tears. It makes me cry sad tears when she dies. It makes me cry sad tears when the pancreatic cancer guy dies.
Yep.
It makes me fired up and angry. I'm when Patch is angry about something, I'm angry about something. When there's an injustice being done in the hospital, in the system, I'm fired up and I'm ready to be a justice fighter in this situation. Another moment that makes me laugh, the gynecologist welcome. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Like it's so funny. It ticks every box. It ticks every box. And the movie ends and I go, oh my goodness, that's such a good movie. And then I hop on Rotten Tomatoes out of curiosity and I see a 22% and I'm stunned.
Yeah.
Baffled.
Oh, jeez.
Why do you hate this movie, Pete?
So here.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying you hate it. I don't think you actually hate it. But
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I can meet you eye to eye on definitely there's some scenes that are, emotional just as... I almost said Adam Sandler. Why the heck did I say that? Robin Williams. Robin Williams portrays this individual who's trying to connect with human beings who are in need. And I mean, how can you not appreciate that? Like, that is just so sincere as a human element of how we should treat each other. I think I also agree just with his whole premise of why he was making waves in his specific field that really we can all learn from, just about the concept of improving life and improving quality of life and not just delaying death. To me, that was like, great. That is a great premise and a great kind of character trait to build something on and move forward. And I just, the feeling I got from this film, because when I watched it closer to its release years ago, I would think I was closer to the camp that you were. And I watched it now, and I just wonder, I don't know what's changed as far as why I feel the way I do, but the way I feel is I just feel this film was just, it's not too long, it's a very short film, but for the story that they're trying to tell, it just seems too drawn out and prolonged. And as important as the concept of human caring is, and it's heartwarming, in this example, I don't know if it needed to be a feature-length film. You bring up Hacksaw Ridge a lot. You think it's a great film, and that's correct, right? Like you are. If I were to say Hacksaw Ridge was awful, you would take offense to it, and that would start a pretty heated war. If I'm speaking for you here.
If you were to say Hacksaw Ridge is awful, I would say common error. I think you're actually thinking of Saving Private Ryan. Which, okay, no. So I don't think Saving Private Ryan is horrible by any stretch of the imagination. I do think if you're looking for an excellent film, and there's two films on the shelf, and it's Hacksaw Ridge and it's Saving Private Ryan, I think there's a clear choice.
Sure.
And I'm sorry, Tom Hanks, but tonight is not your night.
Well, and something I remembered you talking about when we reviewed Hacksaw Ridge, and this is a plug for the ep, so if you haven't checked it out, please do. Scroll down to it's been a while now, but it's still a solid ep. And you brought up that there are times when a viewer, whether it was me or whether it was you, when you'd watch it and you'd go, wow, like this scene's a little too much. This scene's a little crazy. I think Hollywood has had its too much of poetic license here. And then when you roll it back, you know, more often than not, it's too crazy, but it was accurate about whatever example of a certain scene or a certain thing in that film. And I think what just kind of turned me off a little bit with this film is there were just things where I thought, wow, this is a little over the top. This is ridiculous. And when the curiosity got me, I wanted to look up some stuff. I'm like, is this kind of based on truth? And it is to a certain degree, but it's
a lot of it is not true.
A lot of it is not.
Like,
and I think
Corinne is a made up character. She never existed.
Corinne is a made up character who is based on someone. Apparently there was a male friend who was murdered under similar circumstances. But everything about Corinne, but
you got to make it a love interest. It's a movie, right? You got to.
I know, but I know it. I still am not there for that, and just there's so yeah, you hit it. This romantic subplot. I'll just say it. I'm not there for that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, it just didn't do a lot for me. It just seemed really contrived. A lot of this seemed contrived. The whole being expelled thing seemed contrived. The whole pretentious roommate who turns out pulling a 180 and is then in your camp and like has tears when you succeed subplot I was not there for. And all these things just seemed so made up and contrived that then some of the low level, kind of like the slapstick humor that Robin Williams was doing, I'm like, okay, like, this just seems like kind of a flat plot that's kind of poofy, and you're using a talented actor, but they're not synthesized and infusing each other. It's just like the two things are just there. And I think it ultimately does come down to I wasn't as appreciative of what I was seeing on screen, and the reality of the situation didn't reinforce it to me. It didn't say, yeah, but Pete, chill. This is, to a degree what happened, and I know Hollywood is going to skew things a bit, and I can live with a little bit, but just the whole Korean thing was contrived. This bothers me. Patch Adams wasn't 47 when he started medical school. The real Patch Adams. He legitimately finished high school, went straight to college, and finished medical school by the time he was 26. So, like, just this whole, like, that, to me, that's a pretty specific thing. Like, that means the whole mental health, like, the mental hospital thing is contrived. The whole, you know, an adult.
Well, but that part, like, I mean, he was, so yes and no. I mean, he was suicidal and was checked into hospitals. Like, that.
Okay.
That part is true.
Okay.
It's just the timeline's
that I wasn't sure about. I will back off a little bit. That's fair. Then there's some realism there. But just the whole, there was a lot made about this whole age thing that it was, you know, essentially just randomly thrown in. And the one thing that, this is the clincher that got me. Apparently there's a bit of a schism between the real Patch Adams and his perception of how he was perceived in this film. And ultimately,
yeah.
I think he felt that there was going to be some growth and overall benefit to his institute, his Gesundheit Institute, to help the marginalized and low socioeconomic people that need medical care. I think he was under the impression that this film would kind of help that institution along and, again, kind of pay it forward and kind of help him help more people. And apparently that just never really happened. Like, he just found that it just didn't really help him. Like, I'm not sure if there was some money that he thought was going to be donated by Robin Williams and nothing happened, or
so
essentially he kind of just literally said, quote unquote, like, this is like a kind of cheap money selling tactic of a film, and it's not completely who I was.
Yeah. So let me play devil's advocate a little bit. I agree with a lot of the things you say, and normally I'd be in the same camp. A lot of the time I'm like, you know, but they played it a little loose and like things that weren't factually true in Bohemian Rhapsody bothered me. I was like, this isn't
sure.
This is not accurate. It doesn't bother me this time, and I think it's maybe because I didn't know the source material first.
Sure.
Whereas with Bohemian Rhapsody, I did. So I'm like, oh, well, you didn't get that fact right, did you? Right. Yes. Yes, there is some stuff about the actual Patch Adams, who's in like his 80s or something now, or like late 70s.
Okay.
There is some stuff about him not... Initially, he didn't like this film. I watched an interview with him from a couple of years ago. Like this week, I watched the interview.
Okay.
And he was talking about how he's kind of kissed and made up with the film.
Oh, okay.
And that that a lot of his beef with it was that it didn't show his political activism. And that everything that he does in life, he does with the intent of creating a better world to live in, but through a very like politically charged approach. And so I think they took a lot of creative liberties with this film. I think they took a real life person and used him to tell a story that is not a story that the actual Patch Adams disagreed with, but just wasn't the whole picture.
Okay.
And I mean, you'll never be able to tell the whole picture. And so and here are my thoughts. My thoughts are, okay, so the film didn't boost your hospital whatever. That's not the film's fault. Like, you know, they made the thing. If people didn't care, if after having seen the thing, people didn't care, then didn't care about your institute, then people don't care about your institute. Like, I can't. There's no. Like, what are you gonna do?
Sure.
Two, the fact that he was so bent out of shape about that implies that what he was hoping for was a 2-hour commercial for his institute, which is not good business. It's not Hollywood. It's not
Right.
It's not good
Right.
business. It would make a shit film.
Sure. Yeah.
3, if he didn't like if he was expecting the film to do that for him and it didn't, I think it's safe to say that something like that, an experience like that, could taint your perception of the film, could put a bad taste in your mouth and make a little bit of bitter blood there when it's not necessarily just. And finally, I don't think I could make a film about you that you would be 100% satisfied with. I don't think someone could make a film about me that I would be 100% satisfied with, because
Sure.
like at the end of the day, with little exception, very little exception, there's no one who is immune to the fact that, you know, hey, you have an interesting story. You have an interesting story and a cool outcome, and I think there's a way to turn this into a movie. But I got to tell you the truth, if we're just honest for an hour and 45 minutes, it's going to get boring. Like, we need to spice it up a little bit. The outcome is cool. The idea is cool. What you stand for, what you did is cool.
Right.
But how you got there, it gets a little boring. It's a little, like, you know, life is life. Life is boring sometimes. And if there's not conflict, you don't have a story. If there's not, you know, like if he did this amazing, and that's just it. That is story number one. There's storytelling number one essential. If you don't have conflict, you don't have a story. You just don't. And so if Patch did all this stuff and he did it super wonderfully and he never had any resistance and everything worked out really well, you don't have a story. It's boring.
Right.
You know? So and that's not even me playing devil's advocate. That's me just, you know, saying, yeah, I get it. And in some ways I agree, but I think you have to take him not liking the film with a grain of salt. P.L. Travers didn't like Mary Poppins. Never ended up liking Mary Poppins.
Right. Yeah.
Is that a red mark against Mary Poppins? I don't think so.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely get what you're saying. And I think like no one will be ever would be pleased with their own portrayal of themselves on film. I think there's just certain things that I think you and I just saw differently this time. And I think for me, like, it just came to a head when there was that palliative, or I don't even know if, I think it was a different patient than the man who was passing away, but it was someone who was bedridden, and they all, like, these residents all showed up with, like, balloons on their head, like, waking this man up in the middle of the night. And, like, again, I was like, I get the concept of this movie proving quality of life and, like, making human connections, but there was just some kind of gimmicky scenes like that where I'm like, it's just too far from reality for me, and I just can't get past it. Like, scaring people, that's going to scare someone in the middle of the night. If you show up, like, screaming and yelling by someone who's palliative and, like, not feeling great, it was a heartwarming gesture that they were trying to convey, and just for me personally, I was like, ooh, this is a little gimmicky here. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think, and this isn't a surprise because we've talked about this in the past, you work in the healthcare industry. Do you think that hurt the film for you?
I don't think so. And I did think about that. I think what hurt it more for me was, again, I love this idea of making ripples in a system that's broken. And I love the idea of specifically this system is like improving human beings' quality of life. I think it was just too black and white. Like, I know there are systems that still exist to this day, but definitely in the 1970s were like this, where you've got that dean or whatever administrative role he was that kept trying to expel Robin Williams. And I'm sure things like that are quite accurate, just with how kind of rotten and prejudiced that guy was against someone who wanted to make change for betterment. But just from me personally, from a story watching perspective, I just wanted a bit more complexity or a little bit more ebb and flow of something moving the story along versus just something archaic that personally I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy's a jerk. Let's just move on and like, let's change the world and not have this kind of, to me, what should be like, it's a clear moral, like this guy's wrong, let's move on kind of thing. And I think that's just me. Yeah.
Well, and that's fine. The only reason I asked that is because, like, you know, so Brienne's a nurse,
right,
and officially now, like has a job at a hospital, is a nurse.
That's just,
she made
hold
it.
on.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
So, cool. And I know that we could, like, I could sit and watch something with her, whether it's House or something more serious like Doogie Howser. And, you know, and I know that she would just be able to pick some episodes apart, right?
Oh, for sure.
And be like,
yep,
they would never do that. That would never happen that way.
Yeah.
That's not how it's done. And then I would be sitting there going, well, I was enjoying this. Like, you know, like, oh, okay, so it's not actually great. Fine, fantastic. But yeah, you know, so I think that's why I asked if you were just like, yeah, you know, because you're talking about things you would never do that to someone in palliative care. And so I'm just wondering if that played, you know, even a minute role in sort of some of your distaste.
I think it's more just life experiences. Like I'm thinking even like with my newborn child, like if I showed up even with my 2-year-old like in the middle of the night with like balloons on my head, I think they'd be like scared to death, let alone like someone who's like physically ailed and not feeling great. Which
is just a commentary on what kind of parent that I would be, that I'm like, I don't see that as a deterrent. I'm like, you're right, it would scare the shit out of them. Can I help? Like, nice. Oh man, cool. Well, you know what? I'm genuinely disappointed.
Okay.
And pity you? No, I don't pity you. I'm sad that you didn't like it more. And the reason I'm sad that you didn't like it more is because I liked it so much, and it's just a shame. It's a shame that this film didn't and couldn't do for you what it did for me, because what it did for me is so wonderful.
Sure.
And that's something that I would wish upon you. But it didn't hit.
Yeah.
It didn't hit.
No, that's fair.
I do, and this has happened a couple of times. But it happened a lot in this one, and I don't know why it happens in some Robin Williams movies more than others. But I was very, excuse me, I was very cognizant throughout this film of the fact that that Robin Williams goes on to commit suicide.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that weighed on me. And that Philip Seymour Hoffman dies of an overdose. and that, you know, I'm like, oh man, I'm watching a film with incredible talent, many of who have been taken from us way too early. And that's a shame, because Philip Seymour Hoffman is an incredible. He always annoyed me in this movie, and I think this is the first movie I ever saw him in. And so growing up, like I grew up to an extent with this film.
Cool. Yep.
And his character always annoyed the shit out of me. I was like, like, because he's supposed to. You're supposed to not like him for a good chunk of this film, and I didn't. I didn't like him. But he was an incredible actor. Yeah. Oscar, I think Oscar winning.
I can't confirm it, but that sounds right.
Yeah. So anyway, no, that's so interesting to me. I did not realize that for so many people, this film is a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
And I just can't, which is fine. It's like, to me, this film's like black licorice.
Sure. It raises your blood pressure.
Yeah. If you eat it for 2 weeks straight, it could kill you. No, that's a fact. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, look it up. If you like actual, like black licorice, actual licorice, not like licorice flavoring, but like actual licorice.
Okay.
From the, like, what is it? Anise? Is that I don't know how to pronounce it, but the anise stuff. If you were to eat, I don't know, grams, is 100 grams a lot?
Probably not a ton.
If you were to eat like a big fistful every day for 2 weeks straight, it could kill you. It would poison you. Yeah. True fact. Check it out. But yeah, for me, this film is like black licorice. Fine. Bugger off then. I'll have it. Okay. If you don't want it, fine. You can all be wrong. If you, it's whatever. You don't have to enjoy it for me to enjoy it. And that's, that's the sweet spot. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm afraid to ask. Genuinely fearful. Mm-hmm. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rank this movie?
Before I give my ranking, the one thing I want to say is I Googled Patch Adams, like the actual American physician, and he has the picture that came up on my Google search anyway.
He has quite a ponytail. Is that?
No. Well, you could tell he has a ponytail, but that's not what you see. The one I'm looking at is quite the mustache.
Yes. He has a Stefan mustache.
I was about to say it's not quite as intense as Stefan's, and I mean that as a compliment, but it's approaching it.
It's getting close. He also dresses like I would imagine Dr. Zeus should dress.
Yeah, totally,
very colorful bow ties and shirts and yeah. Very goofy.
Very, very goofy. I gave this... So I used 2 grading scales. One tells me how much effort I'd put into watching a film. The other is just a strict 0 to 10 scale. How much effort? It unfortunately fell into if it's lowest tier of if it's raining outside, I'm at the cottage, there's no Wi-Fi, crap. And there's absolutely nothing to do, and there's a VHS of it, I would watch it.
That blows my mind.
Out of 10, I would give it 4 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was pretty rough on it. If I had before rewatching it recently, I probably would have given it much higher, but this recent viewing made me lower it a little bit.
Wow.
Where do you rank it out of 10?
9.5, and that's why it blows my mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, probably top 20.
And it should be a 9.5 because you said it brought you tears on multiple parts of the spectrum of what can make you cry
happy,
from entertainment.
Sad, and laughter. Yeah.
Like that. If it does, if something, book, film, music does that for you, an individual should rank it high. So that's for you. I get it. That's fair.
So, but that's why it just blows my mind. It blows my mind that everyone else is like, oh, Patch Adams, yeah, what a shit film. Like,
I do want to clarify, although I ranked it low, I wouldn't classify it as that just because it has Robin Williams, and I did grow up with it to a degree, so it will always have special.
It'll always have something there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What'd you watch this week? Besides the horrible film Patch Adams.
I have nothing to add. This was just a bonkers week, so it was strictly Patch Adams. I maybe threw in a couple episodes of Lost. We're on to season 5. Oh, it's such a good show. I love it. Hey, I love it so much.
I was a couple seconds premature there. I should have waited. Till you said it's such a good show.
That's okay. That is all I watched this week. What did you watch this week?
I'm in I'm in a pretty similar boat. I'm in a pretty similar boat, except for the fact that I went to the theater.
Ooh.
And I rewatched Eternals.
Oh, nice.
Second time, yeah. Which I think I said I was going to do.
You did.
So that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone.
Sure.
But yeah, second viewing.
Nice.
Yeah, just as happy with it. I think they're just as screwed as they were before. Just as happy with it, but on second viewing, I am that much more aware, unfortunately, of how convoluted the MCU is becoming.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And how some of the spectacle of superpowered people and amazing, fantastical things, how some of that is gone now. You know?
Yes. Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. Which is maybe just a necessary, like maybe that's inevitable. Maybe that's where we were always going to end up after 15 years of MCU movies.
Yeah.
15 years, man. It's crazy to think that the MCU has been going on as that, like 2008 or something was Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah. And who knew this is how far we'd come?
That's nuts. That is actually nuts. I was a teenager. Yeah. That's nuts. Cool. Well, wrap this up, sir.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for listening. We really, really do appreciate it. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe on all our pages below. Give us a good rate and review if it's possible on the type of app that you're listening to us on. Check out our Patreon page. Join our Patreon. Help us grow the show, cover some costs. Thank you to all our existing Patreon supporters. Thank you for Daphne and Brenna and Marshall and Andrew. Thank you for who all of which were pretty instrumental in this most recent vote. Thank you for supporting us and being top tier patrons. And I will give a shout out. We haven't given shout outs for a long time, so I'm gonna give a double shout out. One is to Daphne, who specifically voted for Saving Private Ryan. I feel like we're in simpatico here. It's been a few times that Saving Private Ryan has been the bridesmaid but not the bride. And maybe its day will come, maybe it won't, but thank you for your vote. And Andrew, who had some pretty interesting comments on our Prince of Egypt vote, like on that page, just also just whet my appetite that I was intrigued to rewatch it just because of some things that he outlined that he was interested in that film. So that was key. But
it's a big movie for Brienne, and we keep saying we're going to watch it, her and I, and then we never ever do, and then this vote was kind of the opportunity to kind of finally be like, okay, here's the time we have to sit and watch it now, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So maybe next year
I might make it happen. I'll try. There's songs in it that are still kind of stuck on my head on the occasion.
Really?
And
like,
I mean,
pop culture songs that I would know, or like songs written for the movie.
So I think it's just like a movie soundtrack, like other movie soundtracks that if you watched it as a kid, are familiar.
Sure.
And Ralph Fiennes is a voice in it who I love.
Huh.
So, I mean, I think I'm going to watch it at some point, but thank you. My point is thank you to all our Patreon supporters, and all our Patreon supporters, check out, you'll be getting a survey in the near future. Christmas is around the corner, so we'll be getting some input on options you want to give for voting options. So if you're a patron, just stay tuned. And if you're not a patron and you want to get on that, join our Patreon.
And what would you say in the coming future is the number one reason, if you could only sell a subscription, not even to Patreon, but just like a follow on Spotify or iTunes, if there was something so friggin' close we could sniff it, What would be the reason why you wouldn't want to miss what's coming up?
Right.
What would that be?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you.
I think I know where you're going, but I'm just going to turn it back to you to answer.
No. Come on. What? What's
well,
so
I mean,
tangibly close that like
pictures, like still images.
What in the, for future are you drunk for future content on this show? What is
Yes.
what episode is so close in the timeline of episodes that we are going to release in the next week or so that we would not want people to miss, and that's why they should follow us everywhere so
Still
that they don't
images
miss it.
Of Ghostbusters.
There it is. That was painful. Why was
I'm
that
sorry.
so painful?
Sometimes on these bits, I know exactly where you're going, and then sometimes I'm like a deer in the headlights, and I'm like,
If we would switch to like a digital memo thing as opposed to us like corresponding about bits we want to do via snail mail, I think that would, because I feel like sometimes I'm like, hey Pete, at the end of the show I want to talk about this, and then you get it in the mail like 2 days later after we've done the episode, and I'm like, shit, man, I should have just sent you a text. I should have said
or fax
or a fax.
Yeah.
Ooh, I could fax you. What if here's I want to know this. Let's say I wanted to rearrange the schedule, which we sometimes do. Sometimes we'll be like, hey, I'm looking 6 weeks ahead and I see that we're doing this and then this. What if we switch it or something? What if the next time I want to do that, there's like a ring at your doorbell? And you go and you answer the door and there's like 4 guys in like a barbershop quartet outfits. And they're like, bum, 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 bum. We're here to tell you that your friend Brady wants to change the schedule coming up. Like if I like hired a singing telegram barbershop quartet,
do it.
would you like, that's one of those things you would just like hours later you'd be sitting on the couch laughing going, I genuinely don't actually believe that just happened. I've got some. I gotta check the yellow pages. I gotta check to see if we have yellow pages. Is that people still? Is that a thing?
Yeah. I don't think it's still a thing, but you know what is a thing, and a good way to end the episode.
Waffles with
no.
Did
you know that Babe Ruth was 39 when he joined the Yankees?
you know I've never seen with one exception, I've only ever seen one game of baseball in my life.
Huh.
Yeah, I've been to one Toronto Blue Jays game.
Nice.
And that's it. Never watched it on TV, never.
I'm not surprised by that, but I'm surprised you actually went to one game.
Well, my dad took me and I didn't want to get grounded.